So let us begin from here. Can you see my slides?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So it's the basics about soil and water relationship first, or we can say basic soil and water relationship, because these are important to estimate the irrigation and drainage requirements of any soil. So hopefully you have learned this. Soil as a three-phase system. Did you learn? Anybody, please?
Yes,
Anybody
sir.
want?
That soil contains water and air.
What?
Soil contains three kind of phases, like one is the solid, the other is liquid, and the other is air.
Okay, and the relationship between these? I want to just know. Otherwise, I will certainly repeat this so that you can dress up this particular idea. So, have you learned about void ratio, etc., void ratio, porosity? I just want to know, and quickly I will brush it up to you.
Yes, sir. We learned this in soil technology course actually.
Soil technology, you have learned. Okay, so let me revise it for you. So soil is basically, we are dividing in three compartments, but it is interlinked everywhere, and there are three phases. It has air, it has liquid or water, and it has solid portion. So solid phase basically soil, mineral, organic matter, various chemical compounds developed from weathering of parent materials or rocks. That is basically solid part. Liquid phase or water that is infiltrated or entered into the soil. It's also in the form of soil moisture, not always in water that is flowing, gravitational water, what we have discussed last time, but it is in moisture form. And air that is always in the pores of soil, air is there. So we have three criteria, its volume and its weight and their relationship. So volume of air, VA, volume of water in the soil system, a certain depth, we have assumed a certain depth, that is called the soil zone or soil layer or depth of soil simply, and then it is volume of solid in that particular depth of soil. Air and water in combination, it is called the voids. So volume of void, and this is the total volume that contains air, water and solid. And if we see in these three phases, it has some weight. Weight of air, weight of water, weight of solid and weight of total soil, and void as well you can consider. But if we are looking about this volume of void, that is VA plus VW, means air plus water. Once we are measuring the mass, so mass of air, that is negligible. Anybody can say what is the density of air? Anybody?
1.02 kg per meter cube.
Like that. So it's a very negligible. Once we are considering a very small mass of soil, the weight of air is very negligible in ratio or in relationship with solid and water content there. So once we are taking these three as a soil we are considering, then we have already learned the bulk density. That is basically mass per unit bulk volume expressed in dry weight. You have already learned, and I guess because it was not running labs, so you might have not measured it. but we are usually measuring this in laboratory condition by drying a soil sample for more than 24 hours in 105 degrees Celsius in ovens so that all moisture is removed. So we are drying the soil mass or soil volume, we can say, and then we are calculating the density, mass of soil that is there in this three-phase system. So water and air is negligible, water is removed. So mass of soil solids divided by total volume. And we are first measuring the volume, or we are collecting samples in a core which has a very certain volume. So if we have collected the sample in this core, we have dried it up. So before drying and after drying, weight gives the difference, that is moisture removed from this sample, and we know the volume. So mass of solid or soil particles only, or soil only, solid part only, and total volume, that is bulk density. Particle density, I have already told, it varies. Bulk density varies somewhere of soil in between 1.1 to 1.6 gram per cubic centimeter. Particle density, that is same in dry condition, mass of solids divided by volume of solids, that is the particle density, individual particle. We are not considering now the mass. Remember, mass of solid only, and mass of solids means divided by volume of solid, that is particle density. So we are simply trying to find out individual particle density. That is basically depending on the parent material, and it varies somewhere from 2.6 to 2.7, that is kg per cubic centimeter. We discussed this all. Now, once we know these two things, this voids are volume of air and volume of water that is stored in between the particles or interstice space. That is important aspect in irrigation and drainage part, and we have interest to learn this. So there are two more terms. One is porosity. How much porous is the soil? So what is porosity? Volume fraction of pores are basically voids, air and water, with respect to total volume. So it's a volume fraction with respect to total volume of voids, that is expressed either in fraction or in percentage, that is simply called the porosity. So porosity is volume of voids divided by volume of total soil mass. So void is simply air plus water. So volume of air plus volume of water, and volume of total soil mass or sample is simply solid, air and water part. So porosity in general varies 30% for very compacted soil to 60% for a loose, and sometimes or most of the time it is cultivated soil. Again, soils are different types. So it varies simply the porosity from 30% to 60%, means volume of void with respect to total volume of soil, it is somewhere 30% to 60% for different types of soils. What porosity gives? It gives an idea about relative pore volume of soil. What is the pore size, or pore volume, but does not give any information about pore size distribution. It doesn't say that what size of pores are there, but it is simply telling that the pores volume with respect to total mass of soil, or say total bulk of soil, is like this. Now, what is relationship with respect to bulk density and particle density? So we know that porosity is simply volume of void divided by total volume of soil. So what is volume of void? It is volume of total soil minus volume of simply solids divided by, again, once porosity we are estimating, volume of the total soil mass. So once we have this distribution for volume of void, we can simply find out porosity is 1 minus volume of solid divided by volume of total soil mass. If we simply multiply this condition by mass of soil, just like here I did for you, multiplied and divided by the same term, it is not going to change this condition. So what will happen if we make a relationship here, mass of solid divided by volume of solid, what is that? That is simply particle density here. And mass of solid, sorry, volume of mass of solid, yes, mass of solid divided by volume of total, because it has negligible mass of air, it is basically the bulk soil. So bulk density divided by particle density 1 minus, that is basically the relationship between porosity, bulk density and particle density. So this is porosity. Porosity gives us an idea about the voids present in the total soil volume. There is another term, void ratio. It is porosity, means volume of voids divided by volume of total soil mass. Here it's void ratio, that is simple ratio between pore space or voids to the volume of solids. This is relationship volume of voids to volume of solid. So simply porosity is the volume of void divided by volume of solid of soil mass. So it's a simple idea. Voids are simply equal to volume of air plus volume of water, and volume of solid we can distribute like total volume minus volume of air and volume of water. That simply means total volume minus volume of voids. So here volume of voids divided by total volume minus volume of voids. That is void ratio. We can have a kind of relationship between porosity and void ratio to find out or to intercalculate sometimes when all terms or all conditions are not given. So simply we can have like void ratio is volume of voids divided by total volume minus volumes of void, volume of void. If we divided both up and below terms by total volume, we can have volume of void divided by total volume and volume of total minus volume of voids divided by total volume. So this is simply Vb minus Vt, or volume of voids divided by total volume. Previously we learned that is porosity. So porosity, and this is, if we are individually dividing this term, it will be 1 minus Vb by Vt, that is again porosity. And you can interchange this to find out what is the porosity in terms of void ratio. So porosity and this is void ratio relationship. So these two terms of soil property are important in estimating different water content conditions. Now we have learned bulk density, particle density, porosity and void ratio. Now think about the system. It is soil property in minimum condition we have learned. Now suppose it's a soil surface, simply either it's raining or it's irrigation water that is applied, or simply say water is applied in this particular soil. What will happen? Anybody? Just I want to know from you.
Water will infiltrate.
Either water will go inside the soil or it will be running off over the soil surface. So when it will be running off? When it is more than this entry condition or entry characteristics of soil. If water from this rainfall condition cannot enter, or water cannot enter into the soil more than a certain amount. So if there is excess, it will go as discharge runoff. Otherwise, it will first entered into the soil. And once it is entered, just it is entered from the top surface to the soil or inside the soil, what will happen? Either it can move in any direction, even vertical, lateral, or anywhere. So soil is initially, when we have applied or it is raining, it has dry condition. So entry of water will be different. Based on this simple idea, let us try to understand movement of water into the soil, or we can say in another word, water transmission in soils. There are two important conditions we need to learn. One is infiltration and second is hydraulic conductivity. So what is infiltration? Simple idea. Water applied to the land surface, either maybe rainfall or irrigation, it enters to soil profile and moves down. So surface intake from this surface, just entry of water into the soil, it is simply infiltration. Our surface intake is known as infiltration. Remember, it is not inside soil movement. It is just entry from this surface of water into the soil. However, once it is entered into the soil, it will move in any direction, lateral, vertical, whatever it is. Then there are two terms. It is basically percolation, any direction, lateral, or deep percolation, vertical. And second condition is hydraulic conductivity. Means soil is, we are assuming different layers based on its characteristics, sand, silt, clay, texture and structure condition, and that changes the behavior of soil three-phase system. So it has a different condition of water movement once water entered into the soil. So entry of water is termed as infiltration, and once it is entered into the soil, there are two terms, percolation and hydraulic conductivity. So infiltration occurs in topsoil, means its characteristics of soil surface. Then percolation, it is subsoil, means just after entering the soil, it is characteristic. And hydraulic conductivity is substratum, means we have assumed then after layered system, so different stratum or different layers properties, it is considered as hydraulic conductivity of the soil. Yeah, please.
Sir, is there any relationship between hydraulic conductivity and the suction pressure?
I'm coming. Once I am teaching this, I certainly will tell you. Suction pressure means it is basically not saturated condition. Is not that?
Yes.
Okay. So here, now just see here. I will come to that point. I am here covering infiltration first, then I will go to hydraulic conductivity. Okay. I noted down your question. I will tell you this relationship. But here I want to just give you a brief idea. Soil zone where these phenomena occurs. Flow characterization, we have given the name infiltration, percolation and hydraulic conductivity. Flow condition for them, infiltration may be a saturated or unsaturated condition. So we have taken an unsaturated condition of soil here, but it will also take place when soil is saturated just below the soil surface. Subsoil, nearly saturated condition, means it starts after infiltration. So it starts nearly saturation condition. Once soil is means fulfilled with certain amount or some amount of water, that is nearly saturated, but it is not fully saturated condition, but it will certainly move under saturated condition. But substratum means different soil layers once we are considering for soil up to a certain depth. Hydraulic conductivity is always a condition where we assume a saturated condition. But your question I will answer later on, means how it will affect different degree of saturation or suction pressure there in the soil. Now it's a measurement because we need to get information about these, means infiltration, percolation and hydraulic conductivity. So in it, these conditions are simply say infiltration is measured by infiltrometer. This is iron ring I will cover. Percolation as well we measure by infiltrometer, and hydraulic conductivity is measured in the field as well as in laboratory condition by using different methods. What are means application of these learnings are application of these information we use in irrigation management, irrigation planning, estimating runoff, drainage and groundwater. So these, at least this runoff you have learned. There you have learned infiltration, a particular part that I know. So in these conditions, different aspects of water movement in soil profile. Here we have two most important terms, infiltration and hydraulic conductivity. So remember always, once somebody asks or you are thinking about, infiltration is just entry of water from the surface to the soil. Once water entered into the soil, it moves in any direction. So it's basically percolation. But once we are considering soil as a different layer system, it's substratum, then hydraulic characteristics, means characteristics of soil becomes important, which allows water to move within the soil. And there we are learning hydraulic conductivity. What will be the rate of movement of water in soil layers or in particular soil depth? That is, what is the rate of entry of water into the soil? So if we are say applying more than that amount of water, it will generate runoff. Reason being, it cannot enter into the soil. It has no capacity. In the same way, you have already learned in your land and water resources engineering last semester that if it is raining more than the infiltration characteristic, it will start running off, discharge from the area. Once we have understood this, we need to find out the first characteristic, that is infiltration. So how to find out infiltration? Or say first, what is infiltration? Movement of water into the soil, that is infiltration. Or we can say by definition, means as a definition, the movement of water from the surface into the soil, that is called the infiltration. So there are different terms, infiltration rate, infiltration characteristics, and so on. So like infiltration rate is the flux passing through the surface and flowing into the profile. That is infiltration rate. And it is expressed as the depth per unit time, means how much depth of water entered into the soil per unit time. So maybe L by T, that is your unit system. However, it's important, just like for your understanding, you might have seen soil is not always flat, or soil surface is not flat. This is infiltration characteristics. We are learning about infiltration. What about when there is a slope, something like this, suppose, and it's raining? Can we term this as infiltration? Anybody? Or any other term? Yeah, I want to know any word from you. Everybody has gone.
Sir, it will still be infiltration only.
No, it is
The
basically,
water will flow down.
yeah.
Water
Yes.
will flow down.
Water certainly, because of this slope, there will be more discharge, or it will be less opportunity to get infiltrate into the soil. And that's why it is not termed as infiltration, but it is called as intake, or it is basically soil intake characteristics of property. Once it's a slope area or slopy land, it is soil intake characteristics rather than infiltration. Okay, so this is just one. And let us start means visualizing. We have applied water or it is raining when soil is say completely dry. What will happen? Initially the infiltration or entry of water will be very high. Then slowly the water entered into the soil. Slowly this rate of entry of water will reduce. And once it is saturated inside here, it will reach to a constant condition, means certain amount in every unit time will enter. So that the final rate of entry or constant rate of entry after certain time, that is basically called the infiltration rate or final infiltration rate. Or it is also called this infiltration capacity of the soil, means this is the capacity every time or every condition, no matter saturated or unsaturated, this is the amount will enter into the soil, and if it is not saturated it will be more. So initially it's a high rate of infiltration, but after certain time it stabilizes, and that is called the infiltration rate, infiltration capacity, or final infiltration. That is, these are the simple words. So infiltration capacity.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, please.
Sir, infiltration rate is different from final infiltration rate, right? Because infiltration rate may vary from final.
No. If you are telling instantaneous infiltration rate, then it will be different. But once we are talking about infiltration rate of soil, it is final.
Okay, sir. Will it refer to infiltration means final infiltration?
Yes, final value. That is capacity condition. Means it is the final intake characteristic. Instantaneous infiltration may be high. Instantaneous. When soil is unsaturated, we have subjected water to this soil, rate of entry will be high. That is instantaneous rate of entry of water or infiltration. But final infiltration rate or infiltration rate, simply it is the constant condition that is achieved after certain time. Is
Yes,
it
sir.
okay? Okay.
Yes, sir, after saturation.
Usually it is considered as saturation, but may not be always. It depends on soil characteristics.
Okay.
So
sir,
that is also called infiltration capacity. So it refers, once it's a capacity, there is a little bit difference only of setting. So infiltration capacity, it refers to the flux which the soil profile can absorb, means from top it is entering, absorb through its surface when water ponded over the earth. Means simply we are ponding water, there is a flux because we assume that below it is saturated condition. So it is certain amount of water flux that is entering from this ponded condition. That is infiltration capacity or final infiltration rate of the soil. Here, for your confusion, let me put here final, but final it is not written in standard condition. It's simply infiltration rate of soil. In the initial condition, when soil is dry, the infiltration rate is high and decreases with time and eventually approach asymptotically slowly a constant rate which is termed as final infiltration capacity or infiltration capacity or infiltration rate, final infiltration rate of the soil. So simply we can say that it's a constant rate of entry of water that we are interested about. But initially it is high, slowly it is reducing. Once we know what is infiltration, how to find out it, because it's important to find out how much water entered into the soil. I am not considering land and water resources engineering, where that is considered as loss in terms of discharge. But here in irrigation, it is important in terms of soil moisture enrichment. So we are interested about infiltration to find out how much water entered into the soil to find out finally the soil moisture content, so that we can say it is means good condition, that is field capacity, or it is somewhere in between field capacity and melting point condition, so that plants are getting sufficient water from the soil after irrigation. Now we need to learn what are different factors which are affecting the infiltration. So infiltration means it is soil surface, it is basically water which is applied. So water characteristics, soil surface characteristics, soil properties itself, and soil above the soil means it's a manipulation characteristics. So we have soil top surface, soil use, below soil property, water that is applied characteristics which can affect the infiltration. So first, soil property, like its texture and structure. Texture is sand, silt, clay. So you know, means if it is bigger size, then more water will get enter into the soil. Texture means its arrangement of sand, silt, clay. How much percentage where it is, that affects the infiltration characteristics of the soil. Initial soil water content means if it is a dry, automatically there will be more rate of entry of water from the top surface, that is infiltration. So initial soil water content of the soil. Surface sealing, what is the surface property of the soil? Suppose it is sealed, suppose it's a silt everywhere, that is sealing the top pores of the soil, means there will be less entry of water. That is basically structure, that is governed by the structure of the soil, arrangement of particles. Soil cracking, if it is a black soil, you have learned in soil technology, if it is black soil, it cracks, and because of cracks, it's more water that is entering into the soil. So soil cracks affect the infiltration. Tillage practices, if it is surface sealing, simply say, or any type of soil which is more compact, by using tillage, it is remove the sealing surface of the soil and more water will get enter into the soil, that is enhancing infiltration characteristics. So tillage practices affect the infiltration property of this soil. Crop rotation, once crop is there and different types of crops are there, its root system goes into the soil. Those develops microchannels inside the soil, and that affect the infiltration property of the soil. So crop rotation that is followed affects the infiltration of that particular soil. Method of application, like which type, means if it is in a furrow or say a small channel, or it is in a wide field, we have applied water from everywhere, or it is applied from one point to everywhere. So that affects the infiltration characteristics of this area, that is method of application. This we will learn in different types of irrigation methods. Then water property itself, whether it's fresh water, brackish water, heavy water, something like that. So temperature, water and soil property, a temperature of water and soil both affects the infiltration characteristics of a particular area or particular soil. So if temperature is high, viscosity will be low, something like that. And if it is salt content more, it will affect certainly the infiltration. So these are the conditions or factors which affect the infiltration rate of a particular soil in a particular area. Once we know what is infiltration, why it is, or what are the factors those are affecting the infiltration rate of a particular soil, we need to find out how it is, say, simply measured or calculated, because we have interest to find out this infiltration information to plan our irrigation scheduling or irrigation water application and management. So you have already learned in land and water resources engineering these two types of infiltration indices or index, phi index and W index. Do you recall these? I'm not
Yes.
going to
Yes,
cover,
sir.
but you have learned from rainfall how to find out how much means the amount which is infiltrated into the soil and how much amount it has diverted as runoff. So two approaches you have already learned, phi index and W index. Now in irrigation, we are trying to first means this is estimation method. So there are two approaches to find out infiltration characteristics of a soil in a particular area. Either we measure it or we estimate it. So first approach is to measure it. So measurement of infiltration, it is simply done by using a single ring or simple ring. So it's called ring or cylinder. We have a cylinder which is as well called as ring, but it is cylinder, basically long cylinder. It's open both sides. It has a particular size and it is inserted inside the soil. This is soil surface. Cylinder is inserted into the soil. Its diameter varies somewhere 25 to 30 centimeter, but 30 centimeter is quite common. Length of cylinder varies somewhere 50 to 60 centimeters. So it's sometimes 30 centimeter as well. Just like here we have 30 centimeter cylinder, 30 centimeter diameter and 30 centimeter depth, but generally varies 50 to 60 centimeter. Usually length of cylinder is 2 into diameter. That's why it is given here, but you can use any. So we have a single cylinder or ring that is inserted inside the soil up to a certain depth. Then it is filled with water. This is to a certain depth, 10 centimeter or 5 centimeter. And we are measuring the rate of loss of water head in this inside condition cylinder. So per unit depth of water, per unit time, depth of water removed from this flooding system or flooded condition, it is simply entering into the soil. In this particular area, this is the area. So this is the method of measuring infiltration by using single cylinder or single ring infiltrometer, it is called. What is drawback here? Because entry of water, we are simply assuming it's a vertical and it will move vertical, but it can go in any direction. That is the problem. So here drawback of this particular cylinder is infiltered water percolates. Now once entered and it is reaching to the bottom, it is moving in any direction. So that percolates laterally at the bottom of the ring. And this ring is not truly representing the area through which infiltration takes place. Reason being, its entry is from here only, this size only, but its movement is more than this particular area. That's why it is inaccurate information, or there is a little bit error about infiltration characteristics of soil if we are measuring it by using single cylinder infiltrometer or single ring infiltrometer. So measurement, yeah, please.
What may be the error percentage like?
It depends on soil again, because soil texture property, texture and structure, if we are considering only two, will allow more entry of water and at the same time more loss of water towards the lateral side from the bottom of this cylinder. Is not it? If it is compacted, say simply black soil, it will be loss of water or error will be smaller. But if it is a sandy soil, say simply sand, it will go here in this way, and if it is sand and silt condition, it will move in this way. So error percentage will be there more. Did you get my idea?
Yes.
Okay.
Sir,
So yeah, please.
sir, aren't we losing this initial 50 centimeter flow characteristics? Because it measures the infiltration capacity after 50 centimeters of soil.
No. This is not. our idea is simply rate of entry of water into the soil. Is not that? But its movement should be vertical. Simple condition, we are assuming that suppose soil is saturated everywhere. Where it will move? Simple, we are thinking that from this whole area, if we are entering water, it will move vertically only. So infiltration is rate of entry when simply output is in one direction only, but here it is turning towards the lateral sides, and that's why it's error. Means the moment initially it was rate of entry, suppose after saturation, means soil saturation front has just reached here, or before this rate of entry will be less, but the moment it is reaching front here, it will move in other directions as well rather than vertical, and rate of entry will increase. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
That is basically the wrong concept or wrong information we are getting after certain time. And that's why it has a drawback of getting error.
Sir, that means we will always get the less infiltration rate when compared to the actual infiltration rate.
No, that's why we need to find out refined method. Is not it?
Yes, sir.
It is error which we are getting in this, and that's why we need to refine our method. And that is the next idea, double ring infiltrometer. So now in this particular case, we have two rings. Yeah. Want to say
Sir,
something? Yeah.
Sir, if we have opening at the entrance of soil itself, then the infiltration will be more in first case.
Here.
Sir,
Here.
just like if we assume we have the exit at the entry, at the surface itself, then the infiltration may be more because,
We have what we did surface.
sir, if we assume the ring outlet
Here
at
at
the
the
entrance
bottom.
itself. Yes, sir.
Bottom.
We have that. Sir, we have 50 centimeter depth of ring, right? In the inside the soil.
Yes.
Sir, I am asking about what about that 50 centimeter height soil surface property, like flow properties. We are losing up on that, right?
No, bhai, what you are asking, I am not sure about your question. That's why I couldn't understand your state of thinking here. Can you explain a little bit?
Yes, sir. Sir, I am thinking if we have the outlet at the soil
Outlet
surface
of
itself,
the what is
out,
outlet?
outlet of
What
the
is
ring, sir.
this is outlet. This is means
Yes,
bottom. You
sir.
can say just bottom.
Yes,
So
sir.
bottom is
Like I'm asking if we have the bottom at the lesser height, around say 5 to 10 centimeters.
here. You want to say means it should be just like 30 centimeter dia and what I told 30 centimeter, right? Means rather than 50, it is somewhere 10 or 15 centimeter. You
Yes,
want
sir.
to
Yes,
say,
yes.
okay,
Yeah.
then
Sir, in that case, the flow may be the rate of infiltration may be different, right?
that's why question is what is infiltration? Infiltration is just entry, but the moment it is entering the soil, it is moving in any direction, right?
Yes, sir.
And the rate will be changed because it is unsaturated soil condition, and we are measuring only in this area of soil, this just 30 centimeter dia. Is not that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. But what is our idea in actual field? Everywhere the same, like few 100 kilometer maybe, because it's an area we are considering. So what is the problem here? Our assumption is entry must be vertical. But the moment water entered, it is moving in any direction. That is giving another problem. Like it is going beyond our experiment region. Is not it? In
Yes, sir.
nature, it is not experimental size is not 30 centimeter, but it's big area. You cannot imagine whatever area you assume, few 100 kilometers, few kilometer, or few 100 meters, just like a whole plot or whole field. But our experiment is contained here in just 30 centimeter to find just entry into vertical soil. And that's why we are not taking into consideration about this lateral movement after reaching to the bottom. No matter it is 15 centimeter or it is 50 centimeter, it's only time which gives us that now it will move. Certainly it will create some problem because of the soil and other properties like conductivity. So better it could be if we have a smaller depth, right? But
Yes, sir,
but why it is 50 centimeter here in single cylinder? Reason being, we want to avoid the time water reaches to the bottom, or we want to lengthen the time water reaches to the bottom. Until it reaches to the bottom, its infiltration will be almost same, or it will be retarding, and then again it is increasing. So these are the basically drawbacks here. And that's why to avoid this time coming very fast, it has taken a longer length of cylinder. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, please.
Sir, anyway, our motto is to find the final infiltration, right?
Right.
So, if I make the what to say, bottom height as 0, means just the upper surface is bounded with the boundaries with something.
No, that's why I am coming. Means you can, our ultimate target is to find out the infiltration, no doubt. Right?
Yes.
But to measure, we need some time. You are not considering the time. At least the first measurement is not correct. Reason being, soil is unsaturated, so it will be fast entry of water. But final infiltration is when a constant rate of entry is achieved. Means when soil is saturated or almost saturated, and a fixed rate of intake into the soil is there. Is not that? Because above than that amount of water, if we are pouring on the soil surface, it will generate the runoff.
Yes, sir.
So this was the single cylinder. That's why 10 plus 50, 60 centimeter length was considered. Now just see, to avoid this condition, now we are using another method that is called the double cylinder infiltrometer. We have two concentric cylinder. This is one, and this is just outer cylinder. This means from here to here, you can see. So two concentric cylinder, inner cylinder is of 30 centimeter and outer cylinder is of 60 centimeter dia. They are concentrically or parallelly driven into the soil. This is soil, and just 10 centimeter we have above the surface and just 15 centimeter inside the surface. So there it was 50 centimeter, you recall. Now here it is just 15 centimeter. Reason being, we have an outer jacket that is again filled with water, which is taking care of vertical movement in this region. So it will take care about this outer surface, but it will not allow, this is as well saturated condition. So from the inner cylinder, any water it is going past this bottom will not go laterally. Did you get my point or not? So this is double cylinder or double ring infiltrometer. It consists of two concentric rings driven into the soil uniformly without disturbing the soil at the least depth of 15 centimeter. This is just 15 centimeter. And in single cylinder system, we used 50 centimeter simply reason to avoid immediate loss of lateral movement of water. Diameter of rings are here 25 to 60 centimeter or 30 and 60 centimeter generally. You will see. Operator record how much water infiltrates from inner ring only. It is not, we are not measuring from the outer ring, but we are simply measuring the infiltration in inner ring. Outer ring is to create the condition which is suitable for not moving any water from the inner ring towards the lateral. Now it is clear?
Yes,
So
sir.
it has an improved condition of measurement of infiltration. It is a double ring infiltrometer, and we have lab today. Is not that from 2:30?
Yes. Sir, I
Okay.
have one more doubt here. Like,
Yeah.
is this ring porous or what? Is it solid?
It is steel solid ring. I will show you here as well as the same experiment we have scheduled for today's lab as well. Okay. So this is just a method. I will show you. This is ring here. You can see. Can you see this ring now? This
Yes.
is your single cylinder ring. Single ring is installed. We are measuring, though it is very rough method of measuring the depth of water by using a scale. And this is double cylinder. So two concentric 30 centimeter dia, and this is second one, it is 60 centimeter dia. So this outer ring is filled with water to avoid any loss of water from this inner ring in lateral direction. Are you sure now what we want, what we are talking about? Did you get the point?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So these are the methods, single ring infiltrometer and double ring infiltrometer to measure the infiltration rate of soil. Now, this is what you have already learned, phi index and W index, measurement of infiltration rate by using rainfall runoff records or rates basically. Second idea is using empirical relationship or infiltration estimation by using empirical equations. Empirical means experiment based. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So there are four methods. Kostyko equation, Kostyko developed, Lewis and Milne equation, Phillips equation, and USSCS means United States Soil Conservation Service. They developed one equation and they gave the name USSCS 1964 because it was developed in 1964. So these are the four empirical methods or empirical equations which are used to estimate the infiltration rate. Estimate. Now it is estimation. Earlier it was measurement by using single ring, double ring. So now you have another class.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So we will discuss about infiltration estimation by using empirical equations in later class. But today we have scheduled measurement of infiltration rate by using double ring infiltrometer. Okay. So we will meet at 2:30 for our lab purpose today. Is it clear to everybody?
Yes, sir.
Sure? Because there are more students, so please pass on this information that last time though I told everybody, but again you please pass on this information. 2:30 we will be meeting today for the first lab of measurement of infiltration rate of soil. It's okay?
Sir,
Yep.
can you please confirm whether our lab is on every Monday, right?
Every Monday. I have confirmed with Professor Soni as well. We talked
Yes.
just before starting your class, and Monday I will take at 2:30 every Monday simply.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, see you then at 2:30 today. Okay, bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, bye.
Thank you, sir.